Varia or even the Lastly, maybe Harley is a good option, especially on the early game. At level 4, you can instant kill some of the backliners. You can just hit and run using the space escape because it have like 60% movement speed.
That's
right
a
now.
lot.
That's a lot.
Oh, this is very hard to catch, this Harley.
You're hard to catch.
Oh, okay, thank you. You're hard to catch, LaFell. But okay, I mean, 5 seconds to the drafts. I just can't wait to see what will they brew up here in our opening game of SPS.
Especially for the emblems, I think. We need to see
Yeah,
it right now because a lot of things that we're gonna learn.
Yeah, because it's so nice being in a in our room, right? All of the talents, everyone has their own opinions. Like, no, I think this emblem is good. No, I think this tier 2 set is good. It's like
Yeah.
it's the thing about a new emblem, because the previous one is just like, okay, this emblem set is good for all heroes, right? The majority. But for this one, it really is mix and matching, so everyone can have their own individuality when it comes to building up their own heroes. Like the Claude, we've even been seeing on TikTok where I think it's a little bit too cute using Brave Smite on Claude. It's like, you can never kill me, and I'm like, yeah, that's great, but can you get kills? I don't know.
Yeah, with that 2%, what, max HP of restoration?
5%.
5% of
5%.
restoration, right? So, yeah, it's... yeah,
It's cute.
it's cute.
I think it's
I
cute.
think that's the right word to say it. That's cute. That's a cute Claude.
Especially on the early game, like with the cloud poking ability. It's gonna be so annoying using the Brave Smite.
It's, you know what? Actually, because of that, Claude mid. Why not? You're just absorbing HP from everyone, and you're just moving everywhere. Which I want to see mostly the mid laners. Will they be going for the Assassin Emblem or the Mage Emblem? Because I think the biggest difference is Assassin Emblem, you have more penetration and movement speed. And being in mid, movement speed and penetration is kind of good.
Yeah, I mean, looking if we're talking about mage, you want to be somehow hard to catch, right? With that extra movement speed, you might be able to survive, and with that penetration as well, adaptive stat, it can hurt your opponent.
I think it depends on the draft later, Goni, because if you have like the pick of heroes, the custom magic emblem might be good.
Yeah.
But like for heroes like Novaria who need the movement speed for the Astra Recall, I think Assassin might be better.
You know what? We're jumping straight into the draft, and it's going to be very interesting. If we have had a big patch, so far the bans haven't been changed.
Yeah.
If the picks haven't been changed as well, that's going to be something. Kadita as well as Fanny banned still. Joy and Arlet banned still, but we got to look at the pattern. SMG banning out Kadita as well as Fanny. It shows that they don't want backline bursters going to the opposing side. 1-1 is very interesting. We even talked in the back room. It's like, is 1-1 worth banning now?
And the answer, we got an answer right in the back room, and it's really not a strong hero, but it seems like for Team SMG, they thought wrong. They thought differently. They still trio this 1-1, banned it out. But RRQ, Arlet ban. Pre-patch, Arlet usually wasn't banned much.
Yeah, maybe it's just like, okay, we don't know what's going on, so let's just ban whatever was good before. And then game number 2, then we may see some adjustment. Kufra, you're talking about heroes that we don't see a lot of ban. Kufra is rarely banned, but instantly get focused on. Is it because of the change of the emblems?
Yup, this because of the change of the emblems, but I think SMG plays like for the playstyle itself is counter setup, right? Kufra is a good hero for doing the counter setups. That's why they don't want to meet the Kufra right now. And if got first pick by them.
I think If is pretty good. It's just that RQ now can counter with the Claude, which again, I kind of feel like the emblem changes has been kind of good for Claude.
Oh, the Claude here. Instant respawn with the Claude? It might be, but no. Okay, Kaja and Valentina here. The question is this Kaja a flex?
Very interesting, because for now, it doesn't seem like a lot of changes
True.
has happened in terms of the heroes. The Eve, I think, okay, because I talked about Stormy. His hero pool is very small, I would say.
Okay.
It's a hero cup of water, right? Farsa, Valentina, Eve. Eve is pretty good. You can have Tenacity, so that you were tanky before, you're even tankier now. But what do you follow up once you see the Kaja as well as the Valentina? Picking up the Joe, probably for Miko and Lapu Lapu.
Okay. You touched on Cho earlier as well, right? For Team SMG, they still want to go pick off. It's a pick off versus pick off as of now. But with that Lapu Lapu, it adds more dimension here for the side of Team SMG, right?
Yeah.
Because you add more sandbag, you can have AoE as well. But then again, you are giving Bravest Fighter towards the Valentina.
Especially when Lapu Lapu has successfully got all that he needs, that he can use the Bravest Fighter, go to the back line, and aiming for the gold lane or even Valentina itself.
Whoa.
Liking the link. 0% win rate for now, but the win rate is pre-patch.
True.
Now that the patch has been changed, definitely want to see what kind of emblem setup that the Ling will be using. The Lapu Lapu, I almost want to say all the XP laners kind of got a pretty big buff because you're starting level 1 with 16% spell vamp. So Lapu Lapu before level 4 is pretty strong. It's going to be even stronger. And I don't think that the Valentina will take the spell vamp. So even if the Valentina takes the Bravest Fighter, it won't look as cool as the original.
True. I mean, I really don't like the Ling pick though. You like the Lapu Lapu pick? I really don't like the Ling pick on towards the Lapu and as well as Cho. Sure, you can take the Eve, but Ling is gonna be very, very somehow juicy and easy to catch. Let's see though. It's a gamble that RRQ is willing to pay.
Yeah, but it might be different stories if Ling got the snowballing effect from the early game because Yves might be a good option to be aimed on the early game.
I think part of it as well is because they're looking at SMG ban. Why are you banning the Fanny? Why are you banning the Kadita? It means probably that Sasa is going to use a hero that doesn't have a lot of mobility. So they're like, okay, since you ban those kind of heroes, we're going to pick up the Ling. So eventually, when you take up something like, I don't know, Sasa, maybe he wants the Beatrix or the... Kimi or Leslie. But I wonder, because he sees the Ling, will he just be like, you know what? Forget about it. I'm going to use something like a Moskov.
Yeah, the preemptive Ling pickup here is quite questionable, but second phase.
Ben, does this mean he wants a carry?
Carry on top of the Kaja and
Probably not great against Kaja Valentina, huh?
Yeah, it will be hard on the early game because a lot of pick-off possibilities from the RRQ itself with Kaja and Valentina. And the last ban for RRQ is Lancelot.
2 assassins here, pretty straightforward. One hero that Sasa has played is Moskov, right? I think going up against this cop here, Kolius, is okay because you can like knock back your opponents with the mobility, right? Perhaps that is what Team SMG is eyeing for. Let's see the final bans. Will they commit to another gold lane? Man, it's just tough. They need to ban a good gold lane. Perhaps a Brody here just makes sense. A Brody ban.
Because Brody have a corrosive strike to stop anyone who can like want to pick off him. But let's see, Leslie might be a good option too because of the range. It's so far away that maybe it's quite hard to Yves to use the reward manipulation to aim at Leslie.
Oh, but Uranus ban, quite interesting. So now RRQ, they already have a mid-duo combo, mid-trio in fact. Now they're having the jungler. So at this point, maybe picking up the marksman. Like, is there any prio marksman here? Esmeralda!
Wow.
Okay, finally a change.
Long time no see.
Let's go! Let's go!
You ban the Uranus, I'ma pick up the Esmeralda, right? In this current patch, it's what the emblem is gonna be movement speed, I believe.
Yeah.
No, I mean like
Pull yourself.
Here's the thing: you could use common emblem, you could use tank, you could use maybe even a support emblem because of the healing and the shield as well. So
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities
there's a lot
here.
of options.
And it's a classical counter pick that when you are facing the Yves and Lapu Lapu because both of them have the absorb ability.
Yes,
That's true.
Yes, you can absorb the shield, right?
yeah.
So it somehow counters. But
Roger! Wow!
Whoa!
Roger!
Wait.
I did not see this coming. Wait, is this going into the jungle?
I think so because they picked Brody for the last pick.
I've never seen someone use the Roger. What? He's a utility jungler.
Brave Smite Roger, maybe?
What? Killing spree. We
Killing
could.
spree, okay.
Killing spree with the assassin. So killing spree, season hunter. Maybe the adaptive penetration or movement speed.
Oh my god.
I like it, but wow.
Oh my god. My concern here for the composition of Team SMG, though, is a lot of physical attacks.
I don't
right?
care.
You don't care. You love it. Well, there you go.
Well, kind of a lot of magic for RRQ. Their EXP, their roamer, their mid, but probably doesn't matter as well. Last pick here, what kind of marksman will they pick up?
Whoa, wait.
Wait.
Valentina gold lane?
Or
Zin.
Esmeralda gold lane.
Zin gold lane.
Esmeralda gold lane.
I'm guessing Esmeralda will be on the gold lane, I think. Because yeah, when it comes to Brody, but it's gonna be hard because the gold laner can poke them in the early game, but we're gonna see it.
Let's go. You know what? I'm not even going to ask for you guys' prediction because at this point, I don't care. I see Esmeralda gold lane. I see Roger. This is amazing. I don't want to wait. Casters, get ready. I'm throwing over to you guys. Ka-chow.
Hi, Lavelle. Wow, that was really quick. But thank you so much for the throw. It's going to be me as well as Gideon on the caster desk. Thank you so much, everyone. And we have a lot to talk about, right? Because finally, okay, let's just ignore the predictions for now, right? Because we got to talk about the new patch and how it's going to affect all these typical picks that we don't often see, like the Esmeralda in the gold lane. We have finally seen a Roger in the jungle. And a lot of people have said that a Roger could potentially be available and good in that jungle.
Absolutely. I mean, with new emblem systems, anything is possible. And thanks to our API, we have a quick heads up of what to expect for this game, but we'll go and show you guys the real action live in-game.
All right, let's start. Okay, very interesting already here. And the beautiful thing about the new emblem and talent system is the flexibility of how these things are going to go. Face value here, we already see that Subway on the Roger actually opt for the Assassin emblem.
He's going for the killing spree as his core talent. He likes that extra bit of movement speed once he finishes off his opponents. I'm very curious about the tier 1s and especially the tier 2 emblems though, just to give us a rough idea of what exactly they're trying to achieve in this game. If they're not going for Season Hunter, they're absolutely trolling his junglers.
All right, and we can even talk about the gold laners, right? Because you'd expect, for example, oh, we do see a pause here being... It's good, we can talk about this, right? Because Brody on the Magic emblem, right?
Yes, now, well, I mean, Brody is going to be taking the killing spree at the end of the day, but I still think he is still under the assassin class role, essentially role talents at this point in time, right? So I think the penetration is going to be extremely important in the laning phase, so let's pull up the emblems right now so we can have a better idea, and you guys can keep up to date. This is going to be interesting, right? Okay, so yeah, he does go for lethal ignition, so he's definitely going to be trading a little bit better in the lane. It's interesting that he decides to go for Weapon Master. He still wants to get some extra value out of his early game items. They did change it though, so it's not as good as it used to be.
Sorry, I got shocked by everyone's tier 1 talent from the side of RRQ, right? They're all going for movement speed instead. So it's interesting, right? Because now they have prioritizing utilizing this movement speed, and you can expect that their gameplay is going to be very fast-paced in that early game. They're trying to out-rotate their enemies, whereas from the side of SMG, they're all mostly on penetration. You can see Weapon Masters all around as well. So how? What can we expect from this?
Well, at least we know that they're trying to like scale up for the later stages of the game. Like come around mid-game, especially via big ticket items that give you like a huge amount of flat stats. We're talking about like Hunter Strike, BOD is going to be the most noticeable one out of all of them because it gives the highest amount of attack damage. Then maybe there's a good opportunity, right? That you're going to get that benefit of the 5% from the Weapons Master. But then if you look at people who are trying to like stop the damage, people who are trying to tank through it all, Zin specifically, Esmeralda, he does go for the support emblems here. So that means that his regeneration is going to be through the roof, right? The hybrid regeneration and health gain that he gets from it. And not to mention that he decides to go for Impure Rage, so he sticks around in the lane a little bit longer.
But we gotta talk about that, right? Because sure, we can see that with the support emblem coming in from Esmeralda, that is gonna help him sustain. But how does that go against the penetration that Brody has opted for in his first talent?
See, that's the thing, right? This really is going to be a good test because I'm expecting early steel leg plates coming in from Esmeralda to try and protect him from the damage. But even then, right, even for Brody, you can see that he already has the natural penetration, not only from his items, but he wants to make sure that he has it in his tier 1 emblems as well, just to kind of compensate for the fact that if it does come out, at least I'm going to be able to deal more damage. So it's going to be an interesting laning phase. I think that Sin is still going to lose it at the end of the day. His job isn't to like win out the lane. He is playing Esme. It's just stall out until that late game and then become unstoppable.
Yeah, I think clear is is like one of the main conditions coming in from Xin in that lane. And I like this. This is something really new. We haven't seen this too often, or at all even. Esmeralda is usually in the EXP lane. I don't remember the last time we saw Esmeralda in the gold lane. Honestly.
I've expressed my displeasure for Esmeralda.
Yeah, he was very,
I'm just gonna hide
about it. He was like,
I'm just gonna hide every single time. I don't want to deal with it at all because I feel like EXP, especially when it comes down to the EXP, right? I want it to be volatile. I'm surprised that it did go gold. There was an opportunity for, letting that Arla through during the bans, but I think everybody would rather something a little bit more standard.
and I was surprised, right? Because I thought the Esmeralda would lane better against the Lapu Lapu
Oh, well,
compared to a Brody.
That's fair. That's a fair argument. But RIP to Avarice. God bless the Emblem. It's Talent Soul. Yeah, Talent Soul at this point, right? It's disappointing to see that they took it out. So now it's a little bit more streamlined. I'm expecting Muntun is going to start adding more emblems later down the line. But until then, this is what we're working with.
All right, let's jump back into the game here. Let's see how all of this is actually going to pan out. I'm super excited, and we can already see a very, very aggressive laning here coming in from Versik, trying to disrupt the farming pattern of Subway, who's very, very difficult to take down at this point.
It's gonna be a bit of a struggle. Let's just say that, right? Because now technically they're both playing. I mean, it's a hybrid assassin marksman in this case when you're playing the Roger. So at the end of the day, it's how you play it out, right? His range form is always good. He's going on in, gets the howl off. Nobody is low enough to really get the benefits just yet, and Versik's just patiently waiting.
And so far, right, we saw that Rex Regum Kaon opted for a lot more movement speed in their build. But in terms of rotations, it doesn't seem like there's much of a difference from SMG here in the early stage of the game. Sure, we see that Versik was trying to go in for an invade to the orange buff of Subway, but even that really didn't give him an edge at all. Both of them still sitting at level 4.
Now, Stormy decided to go for Impure Rage rather than going for Lethal Ignition. I think, that is notable because it kind of tells you what he wants to do in lane. For now, it's going to be the Turtle Dance, the very first one in this new patch. Let's see how it's going to go because, again, it's going to be Ling who needs that purple buff.
For sure. Seems like they're not going to be able to set up as quick, though, so already very interesting in both of the way that the teams are setting up. It does seem like most of them are already level 4, so Chipui, he has a lot to deal with right now, but Miko...
It's going to be a really good attempt coming in from Smooth. It's going to be the bravest fighter that's able to secure the kill with the Raging Slash, and now the RWN comes out 50-50, goes over to RRQ backline, is now in some trouble as we see Fredrin, as much as he wants to tank, is able to bring Subway with him, and that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Team SMG, though, is going to be walking away with a little bit more.
Oh, Versik might be back here. I don't really understand how the Assassin meta is shifting back because, of course, with the change of emblems and the talents, I think something like the Ling would have a little bit more to play with, right? They don't have to go for the Demon Slayer emblem per se. They can go for more damage, especially with the core emblems. So you can actually see that being reflected, the damage output that Versik had in that neutral objective fight. You can see him actually getting a little bit more advantage in comparison to Subway there.
And that's what you want to see from your assassins, right? You want to win those 50-50s, get ahead, and then continue the oppression. Miko, good kick onto Sipui, making sure that Stormy is still available and alive as they rotate down to the bottom side of the map. RRQ just quickly mirroring them, making sure that no plays are going to be made. Subway's got to be careful and no Divine Judgment just yet.
Right now, Rex Regum K on RRQ already sitting with a small lead, 300 gold so far. Nothing too fancy just yet in the first 4 minutes of the game. But look at these EXP laners, right? They're very active on the map. Banana doesn't seem to, I would say, centralized or focused on his own lane. He is trying to put some pressure, it appears, onto Subway. And it's interesting with the way things are panning out. One of the main questions that I have for Team SMG is Brody's build, but wait a minute, he might be attacked.
No opportunity, waiting until the last second till the Divine Judgment connects. Good dive coming in from RRQ, and Sasa, again, he is just very seasoned. He knows he's going to die, not going to use the flicker as RRQ now begin to move into the enemy territory. Almost got the steal on the next camp, but here comes Smooth in the mid lane, clearing it out real fast. Clay forcing to use the IMU's Way of the Dragon version to kick Smooth away. Really does make too much of a difference for this upcoming turtle fight. Just no ult available.
Oh, finally we get to see the new item being utilized there by Sin. What is it called again? Something Scythe. It's a mixture of Calamity.
Yes, it is a mixture of Calamity, and we'll see how good it is in this upcoming fight, right? Because that means he does want to have some form of damage. Banana gonna get on top of Miko for now, and Smooth looking for some angles. He goes in with the Bravest Fighter once again, stays outside of the RWM. It's gonna be First Six who secures that turtle, but now in the backline, they've noticed that their flanker, Roger Subway, is already down. Clay is able to steal the ult to jump back out. RRQ get the turtle, don't even trade back a single kill.
And that's a 2,000 gold lead for RRQ already, snowballing from the early game. And this is it, right? This is what we wanted to see, the new item coming through. And it's very interesting, right? Because now you can see there is going to be a change into Brody's itemization build as well, right? Early Sea Halberd wanting to respect, of course, the sustainability coming in from the Esmeralda. And I don't know how it's going to work out, right? Because usually we see, I would say, Brody going to a Malefic Roar. With the changes on the Malefic Roar, that makes it a little bit more late game. How is he going to be able to deal that damage? And I guess the way that he's going about it is, of course, the Sea Halberd, who also gives that penetration.
More importantly, it gives the HP reduction, and I think that's a really important point. But here comes the play. First Six trying to bait things out. As Sukhoi looking for any angle. Tempest Blade, this looks great, but the RWN slows down the rest of the team as Smooth gets pulled on backwards. Clay has secured this fight. 2 already down, and Miko, the last to stand. Smooth tries his best with the Raging Slash, but against 3 people, he's kind of outmatched in coming in. Falling Star Moon might find 2, finds 1. Looking for a second as he chases Smooth down. This should be a kill, no problem. A double for Sin, a level up, more gold. Sasa comes to try and look for some kind of retribution with Clay, making sure that that is impossible. Even with the torn apart memories, Banana hardly feels it.
That was essentially a wiped out, right? Because of the timers, it didn't appear so, but that was 5 members taken down just like that. Zin is going to be the brunt of all that damage coming in from Subway and Stormy, but he still comes out alive. So now, RRQ, they are sitting at a 5,000 gold lead. What we thought was a bad lane for Esmeralda against that Brody, because of how things have transpired. He's 3-0-0 getting in.
Yep, he's up in gold against Sasa, right? Sasa, his laning is extremely standard. If he's not aggressive with it, that means that Sin can get away with so much more. And after the successful dive on the bottom side, Sin just continues to get ahead with River Crabs.
0-0. 0-0 compared to 3-0-0. He's not having a good lane there. You can see that Team SMG, they don't want to commit onto the neutral objective. Instead, they want to go for a fight in the bottom lane.
Yep, and they commit absolutely everything just to shut down Sin. Big shutdown going over to Stormy's side. That should be a tier 1 bottom as they trade Turtle on the top side of the map.
Unfortunately, it wasn't for Sasa, right? Because I think Sasa is the one who dearly needs that gold, seeing as that he is actually quite a few levels behind. I'm assuming as well into gold. He needs those items as soon as possible, seeing he is on the Brody. Still a 4,000 gold lead. RRQ really pushing up the pace in terms of these objectives as well. You can see Fursek being an absolute madman, and it's giving me reminiscent to his glory days, honestly.
And glory days, I mean, I feel like his career is just starting once again. New team, new place, and let's see how many retributions he's going to be secure over his lifetime in RRQ. Miko holding on, waiting for an opportunity, making sure that the jungle doesn't get invaded as hard as it did in the earlier stages. But this could be the setup, right? RRQ, they're aware that they're on the top side of the map. First Six, he's able to get his Windtalker, but nothing much is coming out of this. RWM to try and respond to Stormy's side. Good initial hit from Sepoy, as now we see the backline getting attacked by First Six. He does a great job timing his Bladed Tempest to secure 2 for nothing.
Can we take a sneak peek into the items real quick, right? Because that was insane damage coming in from Fursek, right? He was able to just dive into the backline, take Subway down. Sasa was also a casualty from that. And that's really pushing him forward. He's the number 1 issue right now when it comes down to these team fights. And all right, Corrosion, Berserker Fury, as well as Windtalker for lane. Very interesting.
It is. Again, it's all about auto-attacking people to slow them down and then punishing their opponent. This is a build you would expect when you are ahead, and he is 3,000 breaking into the 4,000 mark against Subway specifically. So it's an uphill battle for someone like Roger. Being behind does not feel good.
I also really have a question. Whoa, what's going on in the bottom lane?
I mean, they're trying to find that kill, but Smooth says no. Flickers forward on towards First Six's side. He's able to get out of there, and he's looking for the re-engage, but it's just not worth it. Not just yet. Banana isn't able to get much. Sin gets a little bit more aggressive with a Starlium Scythe. He's dealing a good amount of damage as the RWM comes out too. Finally, the suppression on towards Smooth with the Divine Judgment. That's going to be a 1-for-0 in favor of RRQ.
Very aggressive by RRQ, and they're playing with everything they have in their arsenal, right? Falling Star Moon to be able to do that sandwich play, it does seem like it's catching Team SMG off guard. And with the way that Xin has been able to snowball, right? You could say that he snowballed 3-1-1 already. He already even has the Holy Crystal, so more magic power in his kit. And the fact that he basically counters almost everyone from the side of Team SMG, right? If Stormy opens up the real world manipulation, it's a little bit GG. It helps the sustainability coming in from the Esmeralda to be able to set up for these team fights a lot better. And there you go. It's going to be a lowered, uncontested, easy, free for RRQ here in the 10th minute of the game.
I feel like it's already GG at this point, right? Unless, I mean, Team SMG, they're known to play for the later stages of the game, and that's when you can start seeing that high ground defense. But that was when they were fielding an IGL like Valence, who kind of keeps everybody in check. RRQ, they're walking around uncontested. They haven't lost a team fight since the 3rd minute of the game.
They've only lost 3 people in the span of, what, 10, 11 minutes. And those 3 people are Xin, Chipu, which is like whatever, right? And Banana once.
Hey, don't degrade roamers' lives, okay? Roamer lives matter.
Roamer lives matter. But honestly, the way that Renbo died, okay, Chipu died in the way that he did was kind of just a premature setup, right, from him. Like, he kind of went a little bit too greedy in the front line, and then he got taken down. He got real committed, but that actually elevated Rex Dragon Kaon because of the resources that were already spent onto Chipui. And now, with the Lord already marching down in the top side, Miko!
Yep, he tries to make the play, gets a really good kick, but First Six is able to get out of it just in time, but Sasa says no running away, as Smooth is able to hold out 4 people. They lose the inhibitor, but he flickers away just in time to not give back the kill. The defense is looking semi-decent, but they've set it up perfectly for the side of RRQ. They know bottom side is where the next Lord will spawn, so they get a free long pushing lane.
I honestly say that was worth it for Team SMG, right? They did good with what they could have gotten, right? Because earlier on, RQ was sitting at a 10,000 gold lead. It shrunk to 7,000, nearly 8,000. They take First Sec down. That's good as shutdown. Plus, okay, they lost an inhibitor turret. It could have been worse.
It could have been worse. I think micro-wise, definitely could have been worse for RRQ, but still, if I'm in RRQ's position, this feels really good right now. The next fight is going to occur. We see that Xin is in the middle of 3 so far as the backline gets attacked. He secures the kill on towards Sasa, which is more than he could ask for as Banana's following up. In the meantime, Miko ends up dying in the back, and now the rest of RRQ are looking to collapse. First Sick first, he wants that kill. Bladed Tempest to secure his subway, gets right on top of the next target, Stormy. Lands a little bit low. Looks like they should be able to secure the kill on towards Smooth side. And now, with the top side open, that's going to be GG. Well played with a full wipeout coming in from RRQ.
What was that?
A clean game.
What? Oh my god. I don't think anyone expected a performance like that by RRQ. So many hate on this new roster, so many doubts from the Kingdom themselves, and yet they were able to win this very, very clean, very calculated with experimental picks. A lot of people doubted this, right? Esme in the gold, Ling first pick in the first, well, 3rd pick, but first phase Ling. That could have gone really, really badly.
Can we talk about the fact that Starlium Scythe might be really, really good? The fact that he was able to kill Sasa, and to be fair, Sasa can't do anything about it, right? Literally could not do anything about